friend from Italy, where we're at now. We're actually filming this Q&A from the Garda Lake. We both met at EF New York. So first of all, how long did we stay?
I stayed for 9 months.
Yeah, from September till May.
The end of May, yeah.
I stayed a little bit shorter, 6 months. I stayed from September till February. Does EF organize trips activities?
Of course they do. Mostly the big trips are in the weekend, but they also do some stuff during the week.
But the big trips, like she was saying, is mostly in the weekends. Then you need to think about, well, at least for EF New York, you need to think about like Boston,
Philadelphia, Washington.
Yes. And the little trips during the weekdays are like Broadway shows.
Yeah, Yankee games, NBA games, and stuff like that in New York anyway.
What kind of food is there on campus and how is it?
Well, okay, the food could be better, but guys, consider that it's diner, so they have a lot of stuff, a lot of people with a lot of different things, so it's enough, I guess.
You need to keep in mind it's an American university, so you will have American food. Yeah, what it is, it's like a buffet kind of idea, like you stand on the line and you grab or you point towards the food that you want. We also have the tea house, there you can like buy food. Is it hard to make friends and how did making friends go for you?
So I think that depends on you, but it's not hard at all. Like, people are super outgoing because everyone is alone, so they try to make friends themselves.
Yeah, how did it go for me? Well, in the beginning I was busy with some problems I had with my course, and then there was this guy from my class, shout out to Tobias from Sweden. He invited me outside to meet some of his friends, so there is where I started to meet a lot of people outside the people that you meet during your classes, and the rest will go like it just go naturally, like naturally. I mean, you're gonna speak with people.
We all live in the same place, so you're gonna meet someone.
What kind of classes do you get? Well, the most important one are the general English classes
and the spin classes.
Spin classes are classes
special interest class.
Yeah, exactly. So basically classes that you like choose, you get like a little list online where you can choose a subject you would like to follow. Basically, we have like an online lecture. That's what we have. So yeah, general English classes, classes that you like choose, and a lecture.
And exam preparation sometimes if you ask for it.
The general English classes are like I think 1 hour and 20 minutes, and then you have like a little break and then another one. So it seems like one class, but they're actually 2 classes, but like next to each other, if that makes sense. And how late is the earliest that you can start, and when does the last class end?
Earliest, I think
8:30.
8:30.
Yeah, 8:30. If you have bad luck, then the classes are more like spread out, so you have classes the whole day. But usually it's like morning classes or afternoon classes. So usually you have like free after like 1, I guess, 1:30. And if you have afternoon classes, you start then and you will end late, like around 6, I think. How are the teachers?
Well, I think they're pretty good. I like them all. They're super easygoing. They're not like, they're professional obviously, but they don't make you feel like you have to be that professional with them. They're like more like friends.
I had 2 different teachers because I was there for 2 semesters. First semester I had a young teacher called Robert. He was mainly focusing on speaking, and in the second semester I had Keith, which helped us with the exam preparation for the Cambridge.
I had 3 different teachers. They were all super good.
Every teacher focuses on different things. So what you're going to improve the most depends on the teacher that you will have. Obviously for spin classes you have a different teacher, but they like change. Because you can change your spin class, I think every 2 weeks, right? Like the subject you choose.
Like 2, 3, 4 sometimes. Yeah. It depends on the term. How long is the term?
At which level did you start and with which level did you end?
I started at C1.3 and I ended at C2.3 because it was the last one.
I started with the level C1.2 and I ended with C2.2. At EF you make a progress test every like 4 or 5 weeks ish, And if you pass, you go a level higher. Well, you have A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, C2. And within those levels, you have like little sub-levels, which you progress to. Are there a lot of different nationalities on campus? Yes.
Everywhere. They come from everywhere in the world. Like literally, I could go anywhere right now and I would find someone that I know.
Exactly. How many of those nationalities you have depends on the term. What is the average age on campus?
I think maybe our age.
No matter how old you are or how young you are, you will find someone of your age. But I think the average you need to think about like between 17 and 22, something like that, yeah. How is your life outside of school, so after classes?
Well,
there's a lot to do on campus in my opinion.
You don't even need to go to New York. We literally had everything on campus, like a swimming pool, a dance studio, a gym, like...
And that's just a sport building that she's mentioned.
That's just a sport building. We had basketball clubs, volleyball clubs.
Yeah.
We literally had everything. We have the theater where we also met a lot of time playing and singing together. What else? The tea house.
Yeah, the tea house where you can chill.
Rita Hall.
Yes. Are there outside school activities like sport? Well, yeah, like she mentioned, there are basketball clubs, volleyball clubs. Yeah. So there are sport activities enough to do. Tarrytown also has a gym where you need to pay for. I heard some people doing that who are like training like professionally.
But we also have a free gym on
campus.
Campus.
Exactly. Like the campus has a sport building with a gym, so you'll be fine with sport. There's a lot of sport to do on campus, yeah. A lot of activities. Is there a real Starbucks on campus or in Tarrytown?
Kind of.
No and yes.
So we don't have a real Starbucks. We have the tea house that serves Starbucks food, which is basically Starbucks, but it's not Starbucks.
Yeah. Did you have roommates and how was that?
I loved my roommates. I was in a room of 4 people and we used to share the bathroom with another room of 4, so it's like basically I had 8 of them. And I mean, you can be lucky, you can find someone that you like, or sometimes you can also find someone that you don't like, but that's also a challenge that I think you have to overcome in those things. It's also helpful for yourself and your personal growth.
So at EF it depends a little bit how many roommates you have. Including in the price you have 3, 4 or 5 roommates. I did not know you could have you could be in a room of 5 because it doesn't mention in the brochure, but you can. That's including in the price. If you pay a little bit, you can be in a room of 2 or 1.
But actually I don't suggest that.
No, I don't suggest
having roommates is the best part of all the trip.
Yeah, so I don't suggest paying more for a room of 1 or 2. I was in a room of 3. So it's a little bit less than her, and we didn't have like a shared bathroom in between another room. But yeah, my rooms were also amazing. I had a roommate from Spain and 1 roommate from Colombia. Shout out to you girls.
Well, I changed a lot of them. I had a French girl, a Belgian girl, a Dutch girl, and a girl from Germany, a girl from Chile, and 1 from Colombia, because they were switching all the time.
How long is it from Tarrytown to the city? Because keep that in mind, the campus of EF New York is in a little village called Tarrytown, so you're not in the city.
Which is better, believe me.
Yeah, I think it's better too. So how long does it take?
It depends on the train. There are trains that are like 45 minutes because they have less stops, and the longest one is like 1 hour 5 minutes, so it's
yeah,
so close.
exactly. If you go for short times, because with EF you can go for just 2 or 3 weeks, I can imagine that it's not the best thing to have. It's easy because it's only 1 train, so you don't have to struggle with that either. So yeah,
it's pretty
around
easy.
1 hour, yeah, let's say that. And is it really like an American university?
I think so.
I think so too. I don't know about the other locations of EF, but at least for EF New York you had like different buildings. So that gives a really like this American university kind of vibe. So now we're gonna go to the questions about money, because money is a real thing.
Okay.
The price of the course in comparison to other places. I don't know if we can...
Depends a lot. Because I was supposed to be at EF Santa Barbara, so I paid for that. But they called me because of a problem. They sent me to New York, so I actually paid for Santa Barbara. I have no idea how much is that for New York.
Yeah, the prices changes a little bit with the locations. I think New York is one of the more expensive kind of ones. I don't know those out of my head, but you can find them in a brochure, which you can download in the description. You can download a brochure for free, and then you can see the prices per location. Because yeah, it changes a little bit through location. So definitely download the brochure to check out the price for the location that you have in mind. For the course that I did, like the semester one, the 6-month semester one, was around 14,000, I think. You pay a lot, but a lot is included.
Yeah,
so
you
need to
food,
keep in mind.
you have the place where you live, you have the classes, you have books, you literally have everything. So
yeah,
it's fair.
Do you need a credit card, and how do you fix this?
Yes. You definitely do. I didn't have one that was such a mess, guys.
With your normal card, you can like get cash from an ATM.
That's how I did.
Yeah, but you cannot like pay in stores and stuff like that. There you need a credit card.
You can pay in some stores, but not in all of them. So it's better to have cash on you if you don't have a credit card.
So yeah, having a credit card makes it easy, and I almost want to say it's necessary, but it's not like really necessary because you can survive with cash. Or friends who has a credit card who can pay for you, and then you like pass the money. How do you fix it? Well, in the Netherlands, for the most companies you need to have like this income. And if you don't, there are other ways. Like for me, for example, because I was in New York, I didn't have like an income. But my dad could add like an extra card on my name. So it was like fully my credit card, but like added on his credit card company. Like a second credit card. So that's the way how I fixed it.
Well, I used a prepaid when I found out that I couldn't use my bank card, which is called ATM card in the United States. I just had a prepaid and I used that just like a credit card.
Yeah. So how did you finance it? Well, I worked a lot beforehand, so I just went with a lot of money. I think that's how the most people did. Some people have parents who give them monthly a little bit of money to survive, but for the most people they just work really hard before going.
And you really have to manage your money the right way, because there's gonna be a lot of stuff to do and you're gonna be like, I want to do everything, but you really have to be careful with that.
So now to the question, how much did you generally spend per month? Like, did you make a monthly budget for yourself, or did you just...
Well, I did, but it was around 300 and 400 every month, but that's because I used to do a lot of stuff. Obviously it depends. There are some months you have like breaks for, I don't know, 3 days holidays, so you maybe decide to go somewhere, and obviously that's out of the budget.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't make a monthly budget for myself. You can do it, but I didn't, because like she was explaining, every month is different. Like one month you have a vacation where you want to go to another state. Like from New York it's easy to go on a plane to go to Miami, for example, or to a weekend trip to Washington or to Boston. So how much you spend changes every month. So to say like a monthly budget is really hard to do.
Yeah, it depends on what you decide to do.
Yeah, and during the warmer months you will do different things than during the Christmas months. So you need to keep that in mind. So if you want to look how much money you're gonna spend, just look at around what time you're gonna go, what you wanna do, and maybe you can make like a monthly budget for yourself like that. I didn't. It was different every month. So
yeah, at the end it's actually different for me too, but I kind of try to keep that.
Yeah. My biggest tip, because the next question is, do you have tip on like the expenses? My biggest tip is just go with as much money as you can to the US, so you don't have to think too much about that, and just do the stuff that you want to do. Just work hard. Like that's how we did it.
Yeah.
What do you need to take in account with expenses? A lot more than I thought I needed to.
Same actually.
Yeah, like it's hard to drink water there from the sink. For example, like in the Netherlands, when you want water, you can just go to the sink and just grab some water. I think here in Italy as well.
Yeah, same.
In the US, it's not like that. If you want water, you need to buy water. So that's already something that I didn't take into account. But you have to, because you're gonna spend money on that.
General food.
Yeah, generally food. I spend more money on food than I thought I would. Because you're gonna meet people and you're gonna be like, yeah, let's go to a restaurant or whatever, you know. And not everyone likes the food in Rita. I think that depends. I got a lot of questions about the food, Rita. In my opinion, it was okay because I already knew like it's an American university, so I'm not gonna keep in mind that I'm gonna have the best food. So in my opinion, it was okay. Well, I already was happy that I could have like warm food every day for like free, like including in the price. But I can imagine for some people it's hard. Especially when you have like allergies or a special diet like vegetarian or something, it can be a little bit harder.
But we had Uber Eats.
Yes.
That's a lifesaver.
Take that into account, like food and water. Washing clothes costs a little bit of money. To wash and to dry, but that's just a little bit. But I don't know if you have that in mind or not, but that's something.
And also another thing that I didn't have in mind is like normal stuff that you use for the bathroom, like shampoo and everything. It's a little more expensive there, better than here.
Yeah, I think it also depends on for how long you go. Like if you go for semesters, like 6 months or 9 months, you're gonna spend a lot more money on those things like shower gel, shampoo, conditioner, stuff like that. That people would just go for a short time. You can just bring it from home. But yeah, that's something you need to keep in mind. Public transportation, I think. Like in New York, you're gonna use the subway.
A lot.
You need to take the train to go to the city in first hand. Yeah. The next question: how expensive are the train cards and the public transportation in the city?
So a singular ticket for both ways was something like $22, but you could also do a card for 10 trips, which was around
95,
something like that.
Yeah.
And I really suggest you guys to do that if you're planning on going often.
This also depends on for how long you're going. If you're just going for 2 or 3 weeks, then you won't go to the city like 5 or 10 times. So then I don't think if a 10 trip card is the best option. But if you stay for a long time like we did, for sure take the 10 trip ticket. A 10 trip train ride is 95 and the others are like, a single is 11 and a round trip is like 22, something like that. A 10 trip card is 5 times to go and 5 times to come back. And subway, the public transportation in the city, like it's to something like 250, 275, something like that. So if you know you only have 1 or 2 stops, try to walk. Like especially in Midtown, everything is like on walking distance. So then I just would like not take the subway, just walk. I have a little Midtown tour in one of my videos. I will put it in the eye in one of the corners. But there you can see in my Midtown tour that I did with Paul, that everything is on walking distance. But if you have like more stops, then you can take the subway, because no matter if it's 1 stop or 10 stops, you're gonna pay $2.75 for the subway.
Yeah, the only thing that I don't suggest is using taxis and Ubers and Lyfts and everything. Cars are really expensive there.
Yeah, like
you can easily do it with public transportation.
Some questions about New York. Why New York?
It wasn't my choice actually. I mean, I had been to New York before that, and I thought it was like a super busy town, that it wasn't for me. And then I had this opportunity because I decided to go to Santa Barbara, but they moved me there. Obviously I accepted. And I don't know, I think I changed my mind about that. It's super busy, but still you can find whatever you want. You can find a calm place, you can find busy stuff, you can find party, you can find a place for a picnic. There's literally everything that's for New York.
Yeah, and I chose New York in the first place. And why? Well, firsthand, I have family there, so it makes it feel safe because you are going alone. But mostly New York is very multicultural. It was the biggest campus that EF has, so the most people. So I was like, here I'm gonna meet a lot of people from different nationalities to learn more about different cultures. And that was like my main goal with traveling with EF, to learn about other cultures. And what she said was also a good point, like you always have something to do in New York. Like you can go into the city, be like having nothing planned, and then still be there like all day because you're so busy. Like you will always find something to do in New York. Like
it doesn't matter what kind of person you are, you're still gonna find something that it's to you. Just the kind of you.
Yeah, exactly. So what is your favorite place in New York?
Ooh, that's a hard one. Okay, I think mine is Central Park, but I really like Governor Island too. But yeah, they kind of have the same vibe. It's like a green part in the middle of the city where you still see skyscrapers, but you also see like natural part. So yeah, I think that's my favorite one.
My favorite place is Pebble Beach in Brooklyn. It's near Dumbo, and with Pebble Beach you have an amazing view of the city skyline. I have a lot of videos where you see Pebble Beach because we went to Pebble Beach a lot.
Coney Island is also good.
Coney Island is also really nice, but that's mainly something for the summertime. People think New York is like a city, doesn't have any nature or beaches at all. Not true. So yeah, those are some really nice places. One of our favorite places. Go to restaurant in Tarrytown. You have a lot of restaurants in Tarrytown where you can eat. And it's funny because this is a friend who asked this question, who I went to a certain restaurant a lot. It's called Mr. Nick's Brick Oven restaurant. So Mr. Nick's is this Italian kind of vibe restaurant where you can eat delicious pizzas and pastas. And I always went there with my friends to celebrate birthdays or as a goodbye dinner for friends who were leaving. So Mr. Nick's is really my go-to restaurant in Tarrytown. I don't know if you have a certain restaurant.
My favorite one could be Little Bees hamburgers, guys. It's the best.
I've never went there actually, so I would say try it out.
That's it.
Did you feel unsafe in the city? Long story short, no.
No, me neither. I thought it would be different.
Me too. I felt like I always need to be around people, I'm gonna feel unsafe or whatever. No, not the case at all. I think New York is a very safe city. It just, in some places it's just really crowded, obviously, but unsafe? No, that's a whole different, no.
But obviously we don't suggest you to go around the city at night by yourself.
But mostly I felt pretty safe in the city and in Tarrytown. How is the public transportation in the city? So the public transportation in the city can be a difficult thing.
You just have to figure out some things like uptown, downtown, and then you're done.
Basically saying yes. So if you go to subway, you want to take the subway somewhere, firstly figure out where the place is where you want to go. And you need to know or to look up if it's uptown or downtown. So when you're gonna go to the subway, just take the subway towards that direction.
But it's still easy using Google Maps and everything.
Yes, that was
It's not that hard.
No, that was my tip. That's how I did it at least. If you have an iPhone you can use Maps, or if you have another phone you can use Google Maps. Just type in the place where you want to go and then transportation, and it will say the steps that you need to take. Like if you need to go uptown or downtown, which line you need to take, how many stops, how long it will take. So just use Google Maps or Apple Maps or whatever. But it's pretty simple because you just need to figure out if you need to go uptown or downtown.
Right, that's it.
How many times in a week did you go to the city? Just in the weekends basically.
Yeah, same. But it's more because you really have a lot to do in the campus. You don't really feel the need to leave the campus during the week.
Yeah, and also we stayed for a long time, so it's not necessary to go during the week anyways. And it's a little bit hard with school. You could go, but I won't suggest it. Like just leave the city for the weekends, and during the weekdays enjoy your life on campus, because that's something that I regret of my time. Not spending as much time on campus as I wanted to, because the campus life you will never get back. Like the city won't leave, it stays there, but the campus time you will never get it back. Like just enjoy the campus as well. Like the city is not everything. Just leave the city for the weekends. These are some general questions. How long in advance do you need to book? It doesn't have like a limit when you need to book. But I advise you to book a little bit like as early as possible because of the visa. And the visa is actually the next question. Because the application process of a visa
takes long.
It takes really long. Well, if you go for a short time, you can go on a tourist visa. So then you just need to fill out some questions, pay a little bit, like $15 I guess. And then you're fine. But with a student visa, which you need if you go for a long time as like we did, then it's a long process.
Yeah, you need also an interview and then a lot of time to have your passport and visa back. It takes long.
Yeah, so to make the steps a little bit short, first step is filling out some information and pay a little bit. Second step is to fill out this whole form, and don't underestimate that. Basically same with all those questions. They want to figure out who you are and who you were the past 5 years. And the last step is the interview, where you go to, what do you call it? Like an embassy, and you need to leave your passport there, and then you need to wait to get your passport back with the stamp. So it takes a little long. So yeah, that's the visa application process. What is something you learned during your time abroad?
Everything, I guess.
You learn a lot, like not only English, like a lot of people go there, obviously you go there to learn the language, but that's not the only thing you
You
learn.
learn about a different culture, you learn about yourself a lot. You know what you can stand, what you cannot stand. You learn how to solve situations, because at the end of the day you're by yourself. Obviously you have friends, but it's different if you're used to family life. You just figure a lot of things out.
Yeah. So for how long should you go? Like what's the minimum? Okay, I really have a strong advice about it, because the minimum that you can go with EF is 2 weeks, but I don't suggest this at all. I think the minimum you should go is 1 month. And I have different reasons for
And
that.
that's still not enough.
No, I don't even think 1 month is enough, but that's like the minimum that I would suggest, because first of all, the progress tests are every 4-5 weeks. So if you want to progress, you need to stay like a month anyways, if you want to improve your English. But secondly, to get used to the campus life and to your life in to the place where you're going, to make friends, to discover the place where you are at, you need to give yourself the time to do all those things. So why would you want to go for just 2 weeks? Like, the minimum in my opinion should be 1 month.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Did your English improve?
A lot.
Yes.
My English improved, my confidence speaking English improved a
I
lot.
think that's the most thing, yeah. Did you get free time from school, or how did you arrange this?
Of course.
Yeah, well, most people just do it in the gap year, you know? Like, there are some universities who give students free time to do this on certain arrangement, but the most people who travel with EF take a gap year.
Yeah, it's like 1 year between university and high school.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I already started my studies, so I took a gap year between my first year and my second year. But like the most people take a gap year between high school and university. Did you take a gap year between high school and university?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, like the most people. Did you celebrate your birthday there, and how was that? To celebrate it in another country?
I did celebrate my birthday there, and it was really cool. It's definitely a different birthday, and it's different people. Yeah, it's different, but still it feels good. Like, you don't feel like you're missing something. Probably you would feel like you miss your family and your friends, but you really don't.
Yeah. Well, I am a twin, so this was my first time celebrating my birthday without my twin. I celebrated it there, and it was really nice. I did it like calmly, but it was really nice. You just do things with your friends there. A friend from Sweden cooked for me and some friends. Some Dutch girl came to sing for me and gave a little present. On my birthday I went to Mr. Nick's to celebrate my birthday. We started my birthday by going to the bridge in Terrytown to watch the sunrise. And in the night I spent the night playing card games with some friends. So yeah. It is really nice to celebrate your birthday abroad. It can be a little bit weird, but it's a really nice experience. Why did you choose to do this? To travel with EF?
Well, I started traveling to the United States when I was 12, and that's something that I always wanted to do. So I wanted to do it during high school, but I wasn't able to do that. So I just decided that was the first thing I would have done after high school. And I mean, you just feel like it. You just want to try something new. You just want to escape the reality sometimes. You just want to try a new reality, a new way of living, and that's probably why I decided to leave.
Yeah, for me too. I decided to do this with EF because I want to learn, to improve my English and to learn about other cultures. A lot of people choose to do this to get to know themselves better, like to take a gap year to fill their gap year. Or some people don't know what to study and want to take a gap year and they want to fill it. So there are little different reasons why you should do this, but yeah. And the last question, is it worth it? Yes.
Of course it is.
Yes.
I would never go back.
No, it's just amazing, undescribable experience that you will gain from traveling with EF. So is it worth it? Yes.
Yes, of course it is.
Yes. if you have more questions, leave them below. I will answer them. And thanks for listening to this Q&A. Bye!
Bye!